we are going to start the topic of NumPy. Okay, NumPy. Now, inside the NumPy, first of all, what we have to do, we have to install that package of a NumPy. So simply, what can we do? NumPy. Then inside the NumPy, we will write down PyPy website. There will be official website of NumPy also. NumPy. Look at here. This is the official website of NumPy. Okay. Here are all the documentation of this NumPy. What are the packages and what are the updates? You can read from here. But if you have to install this, you can simply go on this PyPy. There is simple command pip install NumPy. So this will download the package of a NumPy. Simply run at here that pip install NumPy. Now this will tell me that satisfaction already. Otherwise, it say this is a requirement already satisfied because I have already installed this NumPy. But you haven't installed NumPy before this. Okay, already satisfied. Okay, no issue. If it is already satisfied, then what can we do? If you haven't installed this, let it complete that installation, and after that, restart your kernel. Okay. Completed. Okay, then restart the kernel and simply import numpy as np. Okay, we are going to import numpy with the np. Now numpy is imported. Okay, you can import it with the any name. Completed. Imported numpy. Now I am creating one list here. Okay, this is my simple list. If I will check the type of this will show me list. But actually, I'm writing this inside list, and here are single list, right? Single. We have the uh, single list here, right? Now, let me first of all convert this into array. Now we have to learn the topic of arrays. Okay, this is your square bracket, and you have used only one square bracket here, one for open and one for a close. Okay, now I want to convert this data into the arrays. Okay, now I want to convert this data to the arrays. Now what I will do, I will simply write down that np dot arrays, np dot array, and inside that array I am going to pass that l. I can directly pass out that list. Also, I can pass out directly this variable L, because L is nothing but that list. Okay. Now look at here. Now this is the array. Now this is converted into array. But I want to store this inside of one variable that is having name A. A is nothing but this. Okay. Now what I will do, I will check that. First of all, now what is A here? Now A is having this, A is having simply this array. Now I will check the type of A. Now it is saying that numpy dot nd array. Okay. Now let us create one more array. Okay. Now I am creating A1. Okay. Variable A1 is equal to np dot array. Now I am going to create manually array, and I am going to pass out simply my data set inside this array. Now look at here, I am opening my first square bracket. Okay, I have opened my first square bracket. Now here again I am opening one more square bracket, and here I am writing 1 2 3. Now after this I am writing one comma, and then again I am creating one more square bracket, and there I am writing the data set of 4 5 6. Now look at here what we have written. Now here this is opening and this is closing. Now this is opening and this is here closing. This is opening and this is here closing. Okay. Now what is this? Let me first of all convert this into the array, because this is my simple data set. You can say that this is your nested list, but whenever you are writing this type of list inside the array, it is mainly known as now array. A1, now A1 is like this. A1 is having this two arrays. One is this and second one is this. Now what we have to do, we have to check the data type of this. What is the data type of this? So simply, first of all, we will check the A1 dot D type. Now we have already learned this D type. Okay. Now tell me the D type of this. Okay. Now it is saying that it is having the integer. It is having simple integer. Okay. Now I will check the type of A1. Now it is saying that it is having nd dot array. Okay. Now I am creating one more array here. Now I am creating, let us say, for this is my A2 now. Okay, my A2 is equal to, now I am creating np dot array, and I am going to write down my data set manually inside this. Okay, manually inside this. Now look at here, I am creating now my first list. Now I am creating my second list. Now these are for the opened and closed. Now I am again creating my third list here. Look at here, 1 2 3. Now after this comma 1, otherwise 4 5 6 comma. Now after this I am writing, I can write down any list here, any number of arrays here, but currently I want to just keep it as this two values, two arrays. Okay. Now A2 is having this. Now what is here? Now it is having first open, second first close and second close. Now this is your third open and third close, third open and third close. Now this is mainly known as a 3D array. And tell me, what is this one before this one? 2D, right? And this is simply single means 1D. Now, how much there are the square brackets? That is known as a this direction. It is 1D. How you know what is 1D? I have told you that one direction. And what is 2D? 2D means two directions. Now tell me, uh, our Excel dataset should be comes in which category? 2D. Why 2D? X and Y. But whenever we have something dataset like in 3D format, also on that way we can also write down in the arrays. Now you have clarification of all these things. Okay. Now, how can we check the direction of all these things? Now, we can check the direction of these things by using different approaches. Now, I am writing, now we have written A, first of all, right? For this one directional, right? Single list. We have written A for this, A dot and dime. Okay. Now, this is giving us the direction. How much what is the direction? 1D. Now A1 dot ndim, it is saying that 2D. A2 dot ndim 3D. Simple. Like this way we can create our arrays. And remember that whenever tomorrow we are going to create any machine learning model, at that time we are going to pass out our dataset in the format of arrays. Okay, we are going to pass out our dataset in the format of arrays. Now you know how to simply convert dataset into arrays, because it is mainly known for the directions there. Directions. Now write down. Bitचे साईज असते ते 32 64. अरे हे पुसलंच नाही का अजून? झालंय का? Okay, now we will create few more arrays here. Now you simply know how to create array. Now I am creating a3 is equal to np dot array, and inside this, now look at here carefully. I am writing 1 2, okay, and 3 1 2 3. Now after this I am writing 1 inside of bracket 4 5 6, okay. Now after this I am writing after this two brackets, okay, two square brackets. Now I am writing one comma, okay. Now after this I am going to start to write down whatever data set inside again in the double uh, this square brackets. Now again I will start with the, let us say, 7 8 9, and after this I am again writing down that 10 11 12, okay. Now I am going to execute all these arrays. I hope that we haven't did any mistake here, okay. Now what is a3? Now look at here. Now what is meaning of this? Now meaning of this is, this is my, let us say, first column, okay, and this is my another. That is simple way. We can write down any number of columns here, and that's why I have written this 2 here, because this is closing here and new starting here. Okay, this is simple our array. Now if we will check the direction of this a3, otherwise np a3 dot n it is showing as a 3. Okay, and this is simple, nothing but your 3D array. Now let us create one more this similar list. L is this. Okay, now what I am going to do that np dot as array, and inside this I am going to pass out is L. Okay, and what is meaning of this? You can simply write down that 1D data only. This is going to convert your data set into 1D only. Okay, now after this M, let us, I am creating new variable M is equal to np dot matrix of, now you know matrix. Now inside the matrix we can do the multiplication of matrix here. Okay, np dot matrix of L. Now for the matrix we need two data sets, right? Because matrix is done with the two data sets, two matrices. Okay, that's why this is going to write down your 2D data set. Okay, now after this let me execute this. Now let me check M. Now look at here, it is having two brackets, two square brackets, because matrix need two matrices. That's why it is in the 2D format. Okay, now we already checked that it is having array. Okay, now we also check that A. What is our A now? A is simple this, and what is M? M is simple matrix of this. Okay, now we will start to fetch down all these arrays. Now how can we fetch this arrays? Now this is a very important interview question that may get asked in your interviews. Can you fetch this 1D array? Can you fetch this 2D array? Can you fetch this array? Now this question may be asked you in the part of NumPy. Otherwise, they will ask you this question inside the part of a NumPy. Okay, now this is simple A. Can you fetch here what is the value of 1? You have to fetch 1. So simply we will write down A of 0. Now this is simple. Okay, now we can change this value with the help of A of 0 is equal to now 10. A, we already learned this in the part of a list. Okay, now we have to check that what is our A1. Okay, A1 is now 2D data set. Okay, now our A1 is now 2D data set. Okay, uh, now we can also change this data set. There is nothing any new restriction like a tuple, but now what we will do, we will try to fetch few things from this data set A of 3. Okay, A1 of 1. Okay, because here two data sets are only available. This 456 means this is first index and this is your zeroth index. Now A1 of 0 means this Okay, now a1 of 0 of 1. Now we can fetch this list. There is nothing any new things that we have already learned the topic of a nested list. Like that way, we have to fetch all these things. Also, we can change all these things. Now I want to change this a of 1 with the value of 40. Now tell me a1. Now this is simply changed. Now this question may ask you, can you change this value? Because your interview is mainly focusing on the basics concepts of your Python. They just want to check that can you do this task, because mainly inside the Python you have to learn all the new things which are coming in the market. But they at least need that you should know about basic things of Python, otherwise core Python. This is your core Python part. Okay, and there is nothing any new thing that imagine that this is your nested list. Like that way you have to perform all these operations. Now where from you are going to write this? Completed. Okay. Now, now we will learn how can we create randomly this arrays data. Otherwise, how can we create randomly numbers inside this numpy? Okay. Now, I am going to give the command to this numpy that np dot random np dot random dot rand. Now, what is meaning of this? Inside this, I am going to pass out my values. How much rows and how much columns I want. So first of all, I am going to write down for I want 2 rows. How much? 2 rows. And I want 3 columns. Okay. Now, what is meaning of this? Simply write down here 2 rows and 3 columns. Now look at here. This is going to create you one randomly data set. Now these are the 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, and this is your second row, right? Now like that way you can create your this all data set. Now what we have to do? We have to create np dot random dot rand. Now look at here. I am giving 3 commands. I am giving 3 commands, 2 rows, 3 columns, and similarly I want this data set of 2. Now what is meaning of this? Now look at here. Similar, what we are getting? We are getting first of all how much uh, rows here? We are getting 1 and 2 columns. We are getting 2 columns, and we are getting how much rows? We are getting 3 rows, and we are getting again same this data set twice, 2 times. Like that way we can create this data set. Now here, okay, you can play with this data set after some time. Okay, now after this, similarly we can create similar this data set for 4 times. np.random.rand. Now inside this I am going to define that 2 comma 3 comma 2 comma 2. Now look at here, 1 2 3 1 2 3, 2 by 2 rows, 2 columns, 2 columns everywhere, and we are getting this data set of 3, 1 2 3. Look at here, this 3, 1 2 3, and 1 2 3 4. 4 brackets are here, right? Like that way you can create any your number data set. Okay, now np dot random np dot random dot rand. Inside this we are changing some data set 1 comma 4 comma 4. Now look at here, 1 2 3 4, 4 columns and 4 rows and only one data set. If we will change this to the 2, now this is giving you 2 data set. If we will change this to the 4, now this is going to give in the 4. Okay, and this is your, it is a randomly data, random, that's why we are using random. Okay, now after this what we will do, we will create some data set with the help of integers. Okay, with the help of integers. Now we have to create some randomly integers. Np dot random. Now look at here what we are using. Now we are using rand integer. What we are using, rand integer, random integer. Now inside this we are going to tell him that give me the integers from 0 to 10, from range of 0 to 10, and after this I'm going to define the shape of my integers. Now I want the shape of 4 by 4. Now look at here, all the values are between the range of 0 to 10. Simple. Now just we are doing some changes. Now give me the values from 30 to the 50. Give me the values from 30 to the 50 and give me the 2 by 4. 2 rows and 4. Look at here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2. Simple. If you want the data set from this range and you want 10 data sets. Now this is your simple randomly data set between 30 to 50. You can change it according to whatever you want. Okay. Now similarly you will get the this data set with the help of 3D. You have to write down its 3 dimensions, 2, 4, 2, whatever you want. Okay. Now first of all write down
सर डाउट है सर।
हाँ बोलो।
सर सर ये 232 वाला सर एक बार समझाएंगे कि फिर से।
एक मिनट, कौन सा वाला?
सर 232 इसके ऊपर वाला सर, ये
ये
और इसके
वाला?
नीचे वाला दोनों सर। हाँ,
ये
उसके
वाला?
नीचे उसके नीचे। हाँ ये वाला और
ये
उसके नीचे वाला सर दोनों। हाँ हाँ
ये
यस सर।
दोनों समझ में नहीं आए।
नहीं सर, थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो रहा है।
ओके, नाउ लुक एट हियर, what is meaning of this? First of all, we have to create two data sets. This is one and this is second. Now what you want to enter inside that data set? I want there three rows and two columns. Three rows means this one, two, three, and two row means this. And what is meaning of this first two? I want this two data set. This is my one and this is my two.
ओके ओके सर।
Completed? Okay. From tomorrow, we will start the next library, that is going to be the graphics. Okay. How can we plot the graphs, different graphs? Okay, now this is uploaded. Do the practice with the different data sets.